Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of IGN House Call. And today we have a very special guest, the country editor of the Philippines at One Esports. So, Mr. Wolf, please
Wow.
introduce yourself.
Very nice meeting you all. My name is Wolf. I'm the country editor of One Esports Philippines. Apart from being a shoutcaster for various Dota, esports titles like Dota and Mobile Legends, in the Philippines and internationally.
Nice. All right. So, you are a well-known figure in the Philippine esports scene, and you're one of the pioneers of analytic shoutcasting. How did your passion for esports kind of motivated you to pursue a career in this industry?
Yeah, it's all about that actually because it's all about I think the passion that we had because we all started as I started as a writer that wanted to cast for the longest time. And then eventually, when I was writing for a publication in the Philippines, I had a chance to also cast for Dota 2. And then from then on, I did not let go of it. And it was very difficult because you had to like juggle 2 or 3 jobs or even 4 at certain points just to get by. And I guess that really propelled us into this point in esports wherein you have the passionate guys who have endured those times where it was very difficult, and now that we are kind of reaping the benefits of what we worked hard from before, it makes everything really sweeter as of this moment. That's why we still keep on going because we still want to see what's next, what lies ahead, right?
Oh, nice. That's good to know. All right. So, we were made to understand that you suffer from lupus. And could you briefly explain the disease and your experience as someone who lives with that condition?
Yeah, we found out about it around 2016, but ever since 2009, I had these symptoms, and I kind of got how to say this, misdiagnosed with other diseases. I've been treated with like a different disease for 5 years before we got into the point where okay, he's obviously not getting better, maybe it's something else. At first we were kind of course we were in denial, right? We were in denial. We don't want it to be like that. I mean, me and my family. And then I remember finding out about it and all of the symptoms, all of the findings that they had, even the second opinion of another doctor kind of revealed that it is indeed lupus. And during that moment you had to accept it, and it was very trying the first, especially because when you don't have the proper medication yet, it was really so bad before. I had to go to the hospital many times. I got into the ICU. It came to that point where I had to be saved by my friend. His name is Leo. Actually, it's with me right now. But yeah, Leo, one of my co-casters, had to go to my apartment back then and like literally carry me to the hospital because of one episode. So it was very trying at first, but so many people. I'm so lucky at the same time, even when I I am unlucky because of the disease. At the same time, I'm lucky because I'm surrounded with good people that really urged me to do this stuff. Like when I found out about lupus, about my condition, everybody's just supporting me, my family and my friends, and that allowed me to get continue my passion. Because interestingly, I couldn't continue my studies because I'm physically not fit to go to school. I had that because of my sickness. I had so much time watching a lot of videos about esports, although I wasn't able to play as much. But this allowed me to have a better grasp at the esports scene and studying more. In a way, this thing that I had kind of helped me have the better understanding of esports anyways because of the time that it gave, and eventually it also gave me the work that I have right now. So it's a curse and a blessing, but it will be only possible because of the help of the people around me who pushed me to you to continue with esports, and also those who help around. And right now I'm happy to say that we've reached that point where kind of stable and when it comes to esports, all thanks to those who supported me.
Wow. That's great. Shout out to Leo.
Yeah, big shout out to that guy. Yeah, he can literally save my life.
Wow. Okay. Okay. You kind of answered my next question,
Mhm.
but yeah, we understand there was an incident during the International Nine where you had to drop out
Yeah,
of the event midway. How was that?
yeah. So this was a little bit of a funny story because we were so hyped during that month, specifically with the game that I was casting, because of the fact that it's Mineski, which was from the Philippines, and also was kind of our our broadcast sponsor back then, and also I'm casting with the greats. Lon and Duno, if you're familiar with them, like Lakad Matatag, the voice lines, and of course, rest in peace with Duno. They were so hyped, so I got dragged along. It, there was a video that kind of shows that they were like moving a lot, like when casters like are so into the game that they move a lot. I was kind of low key dancing at that moment because I was so hyped. So I think I kind of stressed my muscles because of that. But actually, when I talked to the doctor, the me being hyped during that broadcast that day is just like the breaking point. The real reason why I got sick back then because of the fact that I haven't had a break then. I think we're running like a 2 week long broadcast between MPL and Dota to the international. So imagine like events like just flowing through one after the other. And mostly in the MPL, I was standing because I was the panel host. So the doctor said that I had, it was a combination of me being stressed out and having that breaking point, and because I was sick anyways. I have lupus, so I can't manage. I can't do that. The doctor says you. He said to me that I should not be doing that because I need to understand that I'm sick, so I have to take care of myself. So, yeah, there are sometimes that your passion gets in the way, right? But I wouldn't trade it for another day. So what happened was we finished the broadcast, and then as I go home in the Philippines, there are times were hard back then, back in 2019, even for a veteran caster. So I had to settle with motorcycle taxis in the Philippines, wherein you ride the motorcycle, somebody thinks because it's cheaper and it's faster. So as I got there, another a form of ways to stress myself out because it's not comfortable and I traveled a long distance. So all of those combined together, when I got home, the soonest I lie down, I can't stand anymore. I was very hungry at a certain point, and I had to call Leo. You're gonna have to save me. I can't do it anymore because I can't stand anyway. So Leo took me in, helped me get into the hospital, and then called my parents. And yeah, fortunately, there was someone who is strong enough to carry me that day. I was also available. Yeah.
That's nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it really takes perseverance, hard work, and dedication, to be successful in any professional endeavor, right? But as
Yeah.
someone who suffers from an autoimmune disease like lupus, what steps do you take to like adjust your schedule or your work
That's right.
environment? Like, do you work different hours? You take longer breaks?
Yeah. So I'm speaking. I'm speaking from a perspective where I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing it correctly, anyways. But as years went by, I learned to manage and to learn more about my body. At first, I was, of course, in denial. And when you're a man with so much dedication and will, you're just gonna run straight through, right? You're just gonna accept everything, and that was me before. Now, I learned to be smarter, and I would say over the past 2 years, I've been healthier compared to the other years that I was part of esports. So I make sure that I eat properly. So there's a good diet. I had my blood checked and see what food is good for me or not. I had to take that extra step. And from before, when I was like a midnight oil kind of guy, um, I just continued to like study even if it was during the midnight. But now I learned to respect my sleep schedule. So as long as I have like a distinct schedule for 2 weeks or a month, if it doesn't matter if I sleep like 2 a.m. or Is it if it's 10 p.m.? No, doesn't matter as long as there is a pattern for it, right? So if I continue to like sleep at 10 p.m. for 2 weeks, that's great. If it's 2 a.m., then I have to do it all the time. But of course, still have enough sleep, about 8 hours. Before, I would not do that. I would just run straight and just accept everything and do anything that I have and not even take care of my sleep. But yeah, I found out that this is the way to go. Good food and good sleep. And of course, I learned when I got diagnosed with lupus, my doctor recommended for me to work out a bit, like light workout, like jogging and some body weight exercises. So I did that before, and eventually, since when you're working out, you eventually need to how to say this, increase the workload. So eventually I got into gym workouts. Unfortunately, the gyms are closed here in the Philippines, so I couldn't do that. So I only do like jogging and push-ups and everything. So basically, I learned to say no to some things that I know that that I cannot accommodate anymore. So more about understanding yourself, your own body, and fueling it with good food and good amount of sleep, so that eventually you can get through it. I'm not saying that I was able to do this perfectly for the past years. There were some months or weeks that I had to compromise, and I do get sick because of that. It's directly correlated. So, but those things happen, and you can't predict what might happen in the future. You just have to be prepared for it.
All right. Nice. Glad you're okay now. Okay,
Thank you.
In your opinion, anyone become an analyst for esports? What are the prerequisites or skills one needs to be effective?
Yeah. I could talk all day about how you you can be a good analyst for sure. But I guess one of the things that come into my mind when you're talking about like the primary tips that I can give, first is you have to be either in love with the game, or you're in love with the craft of analyzing, for example. Because if you're in love with the game, obviously you'll know so much about the game. But if that's not the case for you at that specific moment, be in love with the craft itself, like the craft of being an analyst, that you're going to do everything that you can to be an effective analyst. So that's one thing. Another advice that I would give is to always prioritize being understood. In the Philippines, I found out that it won't matter whether or not you're the smartest guy in the realm of Mobile Legends, for example, of Dota 2. If you're not understandable, it doesn't mean anything. An analyst cannot be an analyst should not aim to be the smartest guy in the broadcast. You have to sound smart for sure, but at the same time you need to be understood, because again, you can explain so much about the game itself, about the esports. You explain all of the important details and all of the jargon that you're having, but if you are understood anyways, the viewers will hate you for it, and they'll listen to some other guy who is easier to understood. And lastly is my last advice is don't aim to be to look smart, and kind of what your goal must be is people who are watching you either wants to, after hearing you analyze the game, wants to try that concept that you said in game. That's how effective, that's a marker of an effective analyzing. Or if they feel smarter after hearing you because you're relatable, you're understandable, it kind of feels like, oh, this is my idea, not this guy's idea, and now they're gonna appreciate you more because you kind of unleash what they have in mind anyways. So yeah, I guess those are just some of the few things that I always preach when some people ask me what needs to be done when you want to be an analyst.
Nice. That was brilliant. You must have thought this through, huh?
Yeah, I did. 5 years of it.
5 years of it. All right, cool. What were some of your favorite video games growing up? And what are the games that you play right now, like in your spare time?
Yeah, big fan of Pokemon.
Huh.
When as I was growing up, it's one of my first Game Boy games, and yeah, so into it. Obviously, actually, I started with RTS games, StarCraft and Battle Realms.
Hmm.
Big fan of those. Right now, focusing on Mobile Legends, and of course, my bread and butter was Dota 2. That really propelled my career. Dota 2 was the game that made me want to cast anyways. So that will always have a special place in my heart. But for now, a lot of Mobile Legends for sure. And since I'm already working with Mobile Legends, it's like my day job to study Mobile Legends. My game right now that kind of refreshes my mindset, that makes me feel like it's a game, because sometimes Mobile Legends kind of feels like work right now. But what makes me feel like it's just really a game that I enjoy, it's Valorant, especially because I'm not good at it. I'm not good at FPS. So when I'm with other people, I genuinely enjoy it, because we're just finding out all the stuff about it.
Same here. Not so good at the FPSs, but nice.
Yeah.
Are there any games that you wish were more popular in Southeast Asia? Maybe underrated esports like maybe Pokemon or Tetris, Super Smash Brothers. What do you think should be bigger in the region?
Wow, that's a wow, that's a big question, because I kind of want to say CS:GO needs to be more prominent in Southeast Asia, because I did love CS:GO. That was also the game that I'm so frustrated in a way that I want to be good at it, but at the same time, after a few hours playing it, I kind of accepted the fact that okay, this I love this game, I really enjoy it, but it's not for me. But at the same time, I enjoy watching it. So it was the game that really makes me feel like it's a real sport. And I know for sure that in Southeast Asia, it's not as famous as your League of Legends or Dota 2. So I wish that it's as prominent in the West as it is here in Southeast Asia.
Right, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
final question.
Mhm.
So far, I've enjoyed my time here. I think you're very eloquent
you.
and very, very experienced in what you do. So, I guess just any parting words, any words of advice you would like to give to either those who are up and coming the esports scene or those who are just watching it?
Yeah. Okay. If you want to be part of esports in a way that you want to have a career in esports, have to really understand that entering into esports will always be difficult. As much as it is enjoyable, because it's literally everything that we wanted, right? We want to play games and also earn money, make a career out of it, while at the same time enjoying everything. So I honestly just want to say that it will be difficult if you want to enter esports, but at the same time, it's gonna be worth it in the end for sure. And the most important thing that I do want to give as a piece of advice is that never ever forget that we're doing this for fun. The moment you start being, I guess, a try hard or a toxic person in the realm of esports, that's where all of the problems happen, and that's where you lose your grasp of what you're trying to achieve, which is to enjoy. We play games. We're kids who wanted to play games. So always, don't let that kid die in you. That's all.
All right, nice. That's a great one.
Thank
All right.
you.
So everybody, there you have it. That was this episode of IGN House Call. Special thanks to Wolf and One Esports for this opportunity. All right.
Thanks
Bye,
so much,
everybody.
guys. Bye.